AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built into. That's why it's no surprise that more than 85% of the Fortune 500 use the ServiceNow AI platform. While other platforms duct tape tools together, ServiceNow seamlessly unifies people, data, workflows, and AI, connecting every corner of your business. And with AI agents working together autonomously, anyone in any department can focus on the work that matters most. Learn how ServiceNow puts AI to work for people at servicenow.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. We're recapping again. A lot of good tennis, a lot of one-way traffic, though. Pretty nuts. The results don't surprise me. They're not shocking, I guess, but the score lines are. Svitolina's been playing great. Had a win coming in, drilled Andreeva. That was one where it changed kind of the way I viewed her. But beating Coco 1-2 in a slam, that was one-way traffic. I'll tell you this about Svitolina. Never been known. It's not, if you name the top 5 movers on tour, I don't know that she's ever been in that conversation. And I don't know that you've ever said, oh, she just goes rip city. She's one of the biggest hitters. She's always been a very solid, well-rounded tennis player. I think she's moving as well as she ever has. I think she's as fit as she's ever been. She's actually getting in and out of the corners. And second serve, she was stepping 2-3 feet inside the baseline. And it wasn't a mystery what was going to happen. She was going to go massive to Coco's forehand on that first ball. And then she would just go there again and again, but creating a lot of speed. Kind of just exposed it. Didn't really let Coco play much. So she is playing. Dare I say, I hate to be full of, hyperbole, but I think she's playing maybe as well as she ever has.
It's pretty incredible. She said after the match, after having her child, that her goal was to get back into the top 10, and this win will put her back into the top 10. But it's now you're in the semis. You're not finished.
No,
right?
And also this journey. She was 3 in the world, won a ton of Masters 1000s. Obviously had a baby with Gael Sky, and then comes back. Makes the semis of Wimbledon, and now this is her first ever Aussie Open semifinal. Ever. She was
awesome
in the conversation for best player, not to have won a major, and now maybe has since, maybe that's gone elsewhere. But beating Coco 1-2. Coco, and by the way, Coco talking about the match was the most sober, straightforward. She's normally I can dig into a match, get into the scoreboard, get some scoreboard pressure. Maybe they get a little tight. She goes, I just couldn't play. I just got knocked off. And you could see how frustrated she was. What do you guys think? Did you read the whole thing about afterwards? All she wanted to do was go break a racket in privacy because she didn't want to put it on her team, and she couldn't find a place to do that.
Yeah. It's obviously it's made the rounds on socials. They broadcasted it briefly on the actual broadcast itself, but Coco went off the court, went back into the bowels of the arena and found a ramp somewhere and smashed one of her head rackets. When asked about it, she said 2 things. One, she's I feel like this should be discussed. There's nowhere for players to have any privacy in this facility besides the locker room. And 2, she's I've only done it once. One other time, it was at the French Open. She's I don't feel like it represents me well to do it out in public. So I just wanted to blow off some steam because it was that, or I was going to be nasty to people around me that didn't deserve it, saying that, they did their best. I did mine. Just need to let the frustration out. So I thought it was sobering. But yeah, she's entitled to be really upset. They care a lot about winning.
Can we also talk about, I get, you don't want people doing it all the time. I broke rackets. I shouldn't have. It's not a good example. Right. But it's a slippery slope of that's a bad example for people watching. It's sports. Does anyone ever tell the NBA not to say something to the ref?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no one does it. It's not as if there's a moral reckoning every time someone cusses at her. I go to every
it's a
single
judgment on everybody else. I think it's her own personal feelings about her.
No, I don't know about that. Like, I think she probably has to be, I mean, with how famous she is, what she stands for, I think she is as buttoned up as any 21-year-old I think I've ever seen in this game.
God, 21. It's wild.
Yeah, like everyone's talking about like like even the other day we were talking about like Andreeva and Jovic and Mboko and Tien's 20. Oh my gosh, I'm like Coco's 21. She's 21. It gets forgotten in every conversation. Yeah. She's 21 years old. She's like as young as these people that are just kind of coming out now. But it's like part of me, it's like, can she go somewhere where she can just detonate? Like, can she just be allowed to be pissed?
Do you feel like there's too many like robocams in like every hallway, or do you feel like it's the nature of having to cover 24 hours of something where you need to cut away and have conversation?
Both. Like I'm not saying remove all the cameras because I think it adds a lot of layering and texture, and it's fun when you see Carlos come in and, do a handshake with someone else and laugh and joke. I think that it shows the players' personalities. When Sabalenka's walking down and she finds a camera and that's all fun. I think that's great. It's like the walk-in at NBA games, right? We're like, that's fun. That's great. The WNBA games, it's fun. It's great. Also, can there be a unisex place for people to have a private conversation and or break something?
Yeah, just like a break room.
Yeah, like literally. But think about it. Like if there's no place outside of the locker rooms to go nuts, how are you ever going to have like an intense conversation with your coach if they're not the same gender at an event?
That's a really good point. I mean, you'd have to wait till you get back to the hotel, right? Or like, get in a car.
At a certain point, like we don't hear every conversation if an NFL coach is laying into their team, or vice versa. Like I don't know that we should be privy to that. All the public spaces is great. I just think the players should know where, when, how, and if there's a spot they can go to kind of be normal and petulant.
That'd be a really good, because I was actually shocked about this one the first time I went up to the U.S. Open with you. That warm-up room that's right off the racket stringing room that it's that's used by everyone, and like I thought it was like so strange that there wasn't like home and away side at the very least, to like warm up. I've always thought that's so unique about tennis.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no home and away when there's 128 people. Like it's just not going to. I mean, in a singles draw, it's not going to happen, but. With all of these expansions, and I understand it's not great for TV, but I don't care if they have to walk 3 hallways that are on camera to get to the place that's not. Like you're still getting the stuff, right? But like, should they be able to go? Should Coco be able to go and have a heated conversation with her team? Should she be allowed to break down in front of her team without being tabloidal? Probably. I mean, I don't know. Like. You can't do that. And also the other thing is like, you can't do that in a locker room because I'll tell you the way that works. And I remember like points in my career where it's like you take a devastating loss in a final and there's 2 things. I remember Roger coming in after our last Wimbledon final and him knowing I was devastated. So him not being able to like celebrate, him and his team had to leave the locker room to go celebrate, right? So that stinks too, kind of. And there's no natural place to go. But also like I'm conscious of like stealing joy from someone else if I'm having a meltdown. Like you can't make a scene everyone else's, part of everyone else's emotional set. So as a player, you don't want your shit to get in the way, but it's like highly emotional. So I get where Coco's coming from. Should she be able to go find a place to have a conversation or throw something if she's conscious enough to do it? Yeah, sure. But also, what that does is it makes a lot stronger case for if Aryna goes to the gym and knows there's cameras in there and goes snap phooey, fair game.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fair game. Even more fair, like no conversations had, right?
Yeah.
But the lead of this needs to be Svitolina, how she started this year, how she's improved her movement by 5%, how she's hitting the ball 5 or 10% bigger I'm going to say this, like, as the game has progressed, she's trending towards being a better player now than before she was a mother.
Wow.
You look at the slam results, like semifinal. I mean, now, will she be able to play the volume of events she did back then? No. That affects ranking, right? Like, there's things that are, is she going to get back to 3 in the world? Probably not. But is she more of a threat now to win a slam than she was then? I think so. That's what I think.
But before we transition off of this, and just with Coco's kind of tennis side of things, in the first set, she double faulted 5 times, made 14 unforced errors, hit just 2 winners, and Svitolina won 29 points to 16.
Yeah.
Midway through that set, Coco was like tapping on her racket, kind of signaling that her strings were right, her tension wasn't right. They ended up sending a ball kid back with 3 of the rackets to get them restrung, but by the time I think those rackets came back out, it was already 4-1. She said afterwards that she didn't really have the right tension or string set up, that they kind of got word late that the roof was going to be closed. It was very hot. The weather was a little bit all over the place. We won't see that for the rest of the tournament according to the weather. But can you talk through that process of analyzing your strings and like setting those up and even if it's a little late, what is that process like? And just for us chuckers, how does that affect everything?
Frankly, it shouldn't be late.
Okay.
Right. If you don't know if the roof, if there's a 10% chance that the roof is going to be closed, which now it's more predictable. Now they have your wet bulb, Mike. They have the whole, the thing where like it goes up, 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 up. And it doesn't matter if, Jannik's cramping. As soon as it gets above a certain thing, it's not about someone's opinion on a decision. It's about numbers and data. And once that data gets a certain point, so check if that weather is even going to flirt with it, you have to have a full set of options for day and a full set of options for, I say day, but for roof closed and roof open. So for example, I would go on court and my coach, my stringing team, they would get feedback from me, but they had kind of the run of show to kind of do what they wanted. But there was every chance I kind of knew what I was going to use, right? I was probably 80% of the time, I was like, I'm going to use a racket strung at 63 today, right? But then stuff changes. You need the optionality to go up and down the ladder, 62, 64, 65, whatever it is. You need those different tensions, and you need a stack of rackets with those tensions, maybe 4 or 5 deep. So the reality is I would most matches, I would use 1 racket. I wasn't big on the ball change. If I felt good, I just left it. Probably shouldn't have, but there is every chance where I would use 1 racket and then I had 12 other ones strung that I would flip back to the stringer or keep 2 for practice the next day, just for a hit around. But yeah, I think it being late is I guess you get that it's late and that's unfortunate, but that doesn't change the weather forecast. If there's a 5 or 10% chance, it wasn't going to be 88 and then it jumped to 110.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It says it was going to be 110 all day.
I mean, we've been talking about it for 2 days, 3 days, right? So I think you have to have at least a set of prepped rackets, not like, oh, we think it's going to be closed, therefore we're going to have day rackets and that setup. You have to have both. I mean, you just have to have both. That's just kind of the way it is.
And not that it maybe would have changed anything because Svitolina was playing.
It probably would have changed 0. Yeah. Just so we're clear, this isn't an excuse. It's just saying, like, I don't.
Just a better understanding.
Yeah, and Svitolina, by the way, dealt with the same shit. It's not as if the roof was closed last minute for one person and not the other person.
Yeah.
Right. As far as an equipment setup, it's the exact same. It's not as if someone's battling an injury and one person's not, and so they're like exact same circumstances. Everything changes when that roof closes, guys. I'm just telling you. And everyone seems to think it's all about speed through the court. Like the laziest version is indoor courts are faster. That's normally because they're not cement based, right? They're like normally in indoor season, they're built on top of other venues where like it creates a quicker surface sometimes, right? So, but I'm just telling you the height of the ball and how it bounces. That's as important as the speed of the court, right? Like I've played matches in that exact arena where you play 2 days before and you're outside and the ball's jumping with the air all over the place and you feel good. And I remember 06, I went indoors, they closed it, and I played Baghdadis, and every single thing is in his pocket. Out of the pocket, average. In the pocket, very good.
So you're just getting like a foot and a half difference.
100%. Instead of trying to talk about speed, I'd also like to talk about speed and then show the way that the ball travels in the height differential when it's closed versus when it's open. And I'm sure they have that data, but like the bounce of the ball matters as much as the speed through the court. And I feel like it gets completely undertold as we're kind of digesting it. We've talked this long and we've literally made it through 2 matches, by the way.
I mean, that one was the most fascinating, I think, of the day. The other one, the world number ones do what world number ones do.
Yeah. I mean, Carlos, by the way, do you know how well he has had to play in this tournament for us to talk about Ferrero 0?
I mean, yeah.
Like, think about that. If he had struggled at all, we would have overblown it. And the fact that it's largely been a non-story so far, I think, and I also think where Ferrero probably adds the most value in slam wins is probably these next 2 matches. And also, credit to Carlos, the serve looks great. His ability to quickly see a ball, make a decision that he's going in before he even hits the approach shot. He's doing the same shit that he did against Sinner at the US Open final last year. He's maybe the only person on earth that doesn't need an approach shot to get into the net. He creates a ground stroke, and then all of a sudden, because he's so fast, I always think of that scene in Superbad where they're running for a while and they go, oh. And Seth Rogen goes, fastest kid alive.
Cue that meme up.
But he just is able to get into spots where it's not even natural if you're his opponent to anticipate him being there.
Mm.
His backhand, he attacks it more than he ever has. His serve looks better than he ever has. He can go 128T all the time. He's hitting that little off-speed cutter. He's starting to get that serve variance where he's pitching the ball game where he can throw an 85-second serve in. He can run it up the register to 102. It's similar to, not as good yet because I think he's maybe the best pitcher ever, but similar to Roger, where he doesn't need to hit at 145 like Zverev, but his ability to mix and the threat of what he can do on that first ball, even a great returner like Demon has to overplay returns. Like Demon's trying to take cuts because you have to, but that's not what he does, right? And the greats, I say it all the time ad nauseum on this, they force you to play above your comfort zone. And then when it goes sideways to the tune of 2-1 in the second and third sets. That's not because Demon doesn't know how to play tennis. It's because he's having to play a style that's outside. It's revving an engine 20% more than what you should. The engine's more likely to break down.
Yeah.
Right? Like Carlos is just playing silly tennis.
Early in the tournament, right? There was a lot of press and stuff around Carlos, copying Novak's serve motion.
Great.
Where does that come from? And we've talked about this a lot in the past, few months that these guys between Carlos and Jannik, they're just willing to continually make adjustments, continually tweak. And these are the results. Just complete dustings of great tennis players.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So Carlos, 3 years ago, if you go back and watch his serve, he would go down and up, and it would look like this. For those of you who are listening and not watching, I'm holding up 2 pens that are spread out at the top, and they're touching at the bottom. It's like a V, right? When you do that, you can basically hit flat, but you're not getting that like motion. Your elbow is too close. You need your elbow to be a little bit freer. Now the bottom of his motion looks like this thing. I'm holding up like a metal little tin where the bottom is rounded, right? When you round the bottom, all of a sudden your elbow's in a position where you can go. It's like a quarterback trying to throw with an elbow stuck to the rib cage as opposed to pulled back, right? His serve, we talked about it with Holger Rune. When he came on the show, he goes, I said, what do we not talk about enough with Carlos's game? Even with the amount of time we spend on him, what's something that still doesn't get talked about enough? He goes, his serve. He goes, his serve is phenomenal. He goes, he can hit that kick. He can hit like the variety of his serve. There's not a serve that he can't hit. Now, we talk about pound for pound servers. What's Carlos, 6 feet tall? To have that much of a weapon? And also that he's learning how to serve, like Andre did this, learning how to serve and then have the return come into his strength. He knows that his serve doesn't have to be as good as mine because I need the serve to win points. He needs the serve to win points, but then set up the next shot because he's so good from that middle ball. And there's so much variety. So it's just, now he's got variety on serve, variety on the next ball. Like, let's just think about this, right? He hits a little 92-mile-an-hour kick serve out to your backhand, Mike, right? Mm-hmm. Your backhand's really good, right?
It's great.
Great. So let's say you handle that, but also in a quarter of a second, you have to worry about his second serve going 102 and going the other spin direction into your forehand, right? He gets you out, and all of a sudden, the width differential between those two serves is like 8 or 9, 10 feet, right? And so then you see it off of his racket. You'll be able to tell really quickly because it's either it finishes like you're coming. I'll say I'm trying to describe everything for people like listening or watching. But like the second serve slice is like coming. Like imagine you peeling around the side of an orange. You see the racket flow in that way, so you know it's going this way, as opposed to peeling from the bottom to the top on the inside of it, which is a kick serve, right? So you're able to.
You almost present like the front to the back of the racket.
You see the way the hand goes out for a kick serve, hand goes around for a slice serve, right? So that's the first like clue along with sound. But okay, he hits that little kick out. You're 3 feet wide of this sideline with a backhand, knowing that if you don't hit it perfectly, it's in the middle of the court. He has a forehand. Okay, so let's say you hit it well, but not perfectly. It's in the middle. Now all of a sudden he's there with a forehand, and again on a split second, you know that the most likely shot is to pull to your forehand with, just rip city. If you sprint there, he has the ability to hold, play it off to your backhand side against your movement, and or you have to guard 20 feet in front of you on that drop shot too. That's 1 point. That's 2 shots in 1 point.
Sounds exhausting.
And so, so those decisions have to be made over and over and over and over and over. And he doesn't really miss. He's like Ohtani or Bonds. Like if you make a mistake in the strike zone, you're going to get punished more often than not. And even if he doesn't punish you there and doesn't hit it perfectly, then you're just back to neutral in the rally. Like if he misses that one where he pulls it to your forehand, you're back to neutral, which also that's not like great against him. But we normally look for those like dips, and he's shown us early in slams, like he'll take a set off. He hasn't done that here at all.
No, if you look at his scores all the way through, right? It's 3-6-2, 6-3-2, 2-4-1, 6-4-5. Like it is, and then 5-2-1. I mean, he's measuring them, and then he's just peppering them with hooks and jabs. And then it's knockout. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's rough, and I feel for Demon too, because I've been in that situation where it's like I feel like I'm doing everything humanly possible, training wise, physically, mentally, and I could do all that, and it wasn't going to change the fact that anytime we were neutral, Roger could drop it to my backhand, knowing that I was either going to have to chip and come in, or I was going to have to little shove and Magoo and get back. Right? Like I want that moment where he makes the semis and does the whole thing, and I want more for him because I don't think he leaves an ounce on the table with the way he prepares and the way he takes stuff head on. Like he goes in there, takes it on the chin. He was down 7-5, 6-2, 3-1, saves a break point, and like is still like into it. You would not have known. That's the lesson for junior tennis players, by the way. When you're watching these players, they're not whining, they're not doing this, they're not like, you go to first rounds, you're going to see a lot of this from players. You get to the tail end, you're not going to see much of that, especially with someone like Demon, total pro. Carlos is playing well. Like, just think through how well he's played in his last what are we now? 12 Grand Slam matches from the US Open through 5 rounds here. That's big stuff.
Well, let's talk about the guy that he'll be facing in the next round, Alexander Zverev. How impressed were you with his match?
Very. Playing, I like what he's doing. He's going after the forehand a little bit more, but not flat, because that's not his shot shape, right? His shot, people like flatten it out. His shot shape isn't from here and then kind of coming across. He's going after it like with heavy tumbling type ball. But I like that he's serving and volleying, right? I like that there's not just like an easy out to the forehand side. Also, like, can we give this guy a little respect? Like, I love Eubanks. I'll text him this later, but he's like, Zverev has to change up his game like he would against Carlos or Sinner. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, he doesn't. Tien has to change something. Yeah, I'm like, no, I don't know. No, he doesn't. Not yet. But Tien his ability to need no time to go after a shot. And also when he's on the run, they did these slow-mos of him running to his backhand. And up until right before he hits it, it looks the exact same, whether he's going cross court, and his ability to hit a ball.
This is Tien.
This is Tien. This is Tien. His ability to hit a ball cross court at the last second, kind of work that right hand on the outside of the ball and have it cross the sideline before it crosses the baseline consistently is unbelievable. And it looks the same as when he goes line.
So if you're playing that, he's holding you in position a little bit longer, waiting to decide what he's doing with that backhand.
And his ability to hit it flat, but also open up the court with width is elite already. Like, absolutely elite. And it's funny because people were talking about like, oh, his movement isn't perfect or big, or he's not the fastest guy ever. But he has that Murray thing where Murray was very fast, but he has the Murray thing where someone who hits it that well and has racket control on the run versus someone who is really fast but doesn't have control of the racket face feels the same. Right? It feels the same. Like James was commentating the match. James is, you knew if you were going to get him on defense, most of the time he was going to hit his way out of it. So it wasn't like that clawing defense where it's one more ball, two more balls. It's a different set of, it's a different pressure set. So Tien he can be a step slower than the fastest guys on tour, but because he has so much control of his racket face when extended, it's the same. Like I have to assume it feels the exact same. Zverev is really good against lefties. We said it the other day, like Tien being able to pull him out to that, the wide serve on the ad side works against most of Earth, and Zverev is just so comfortable in that pocket.
It works against all of Earth because Zverev, I believe, based on our stat of the day, is 37-1 against lefties. That one being against Tien.
Yeah.
So he's good against all of Earth.
Yeah. I'm telling you, lefties. I think he's very comfortable. And also, like, you got to think, like, that roller forehand where he works at cross court is all of a sudden going to a backhand. Like, the way it shifts for him to play a lefty. And I always say, like, every lefty not named Rafa, because, like, that's just a different sort of RPM, and it's pretty crazy. But Zverev served fantastically well. Tien was on, like, early, like the first point of the match. Zverev went big and Tien was on a return, like, right away. He mixed up his second serve. He mixed up where he was serving. He served and volleyed. He was down 15-30, like it was 1-all, 2-all in the first set. Served and volleyed like 3 times in a row. Tien's going, oh, wait, okay, I have to think about that. Like, is this part of the situation? That's something we have been talking about on the show too. Like, the ways that he's going about being aggressive aren't just, oh, I'm going to get my court positioning irresponsibly close considering my take back. It's like a measured aggression, which I think he really has a hold of. And, he needs to be talked about in this tournament. His head-to-head record, it's like the narrative is he can't beat the big guys. And it's like, okay, you look at the head-to-head, he's 6-6 against Carlos.
Yeah. well, after the match, Eubanks had him on the court, and he was asking him about, you know, his box, and he was asking about his team, and he was asking about his family. But this will be our perfect delivery of the day,
good
Andy,
job.
I
Way
love
to
to
go.
see this.
Good.
From
You're
one
just
Alexander
really,
Zverev.
really committed.
Take a shot. Give us the perfect delivery of the day.
You had some really good volleys today. I was really impressed with your feel around the net. I want to know how you would grade your volleys today, but more importantly, how would Misha grade your volleys today? Because they seem to be really good.
Every single on-court interview is about him. I'm playing. I'm here. He used to play. He used to play 10 years ago. He was very good. We get it. He beat Andy Murray here. Well, yay.
I love that.
Just because you said that, I'm going to ask you another question about your team. You're one of the few players who has your dad and your brother as part of your team. We know what it's like on tour. Your family travels with you. Your team travels with you. Do you guys ever get sick of each other? Like, you never get a break.
I get sick of them, but they don't get sick of me because I pay for everything.
I'm kind of into, like, there kind of seems to be a movement towards no fucks given. Like Rublev started it. Like Wawrinka's just Rip City. Sasha's just going. And by the way, can someone show me the lie with anything he just said?
No. I just love how relaxed he is too. I think it's like, you know, he has this hanging over his head about the slams, and I feel like just be relaxed, be you, play the way you want to play.
I get sick of them, but they can't get sick of me because I pay for everything.
I mean, facts.
I mean, sorry. I don't know. I'm
going to tell my kids that.
I have no notes. I have no notes. I don't have any notes. I will. Do you see Zverev's commentary on Tien and the way that he's able to play from the baseline?
Mm-hmm.
He basically said, I haven't seen someone that good from the baseline for a long time.
I mean, that's exciting.
It's very exciting. But like also credit to Sasha, right? Like serve. He's like, if I didn't have my serve, I would have been in trouble. Yeah, well, you do. I hate it when people like, you're like, well, if he didn't have
he had like 20 aces or something.
If he didn't have his serve, like why doesn't, and this is probably my own personal beef, why doesn't anyone ever say, if Learner didn't have the ability to switch directions anytime, it would be a lot tougher for him. Like, yeah, if we took away everyone's strength, it would be tougher for them. Give me a break. How stupid is that? Bias against servers. I don't like it.
Oh man. All right. So what's the popcorn match today for you? Now you've got to sleep on it. Still Shelton Center.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. Ben has improved. Always, all the time, consistent trajectory since he's come up. And also, he's 1-8 against Jannik. The time he beat him was 2 out of 3 sets, not 3 out of 5 on a really fast court in Tokyo after the US Open. I'm just curious to see what adjustments he can make that might be able to bother Jannik. And also, the weather the rest of the way is pretty muted.
Yeah, it's highs of... we got 74, 77, 85, 78, 66 on championship Sunday.
The roof's closed. The bounce is a little muted. Maybe Ben's kick serve comes down 3, 4, 5 inches. All that stuff matters. I don't think Jannik's going to have to fight the heat anymore. So he kind of got through what he needed to get through. So that's the one I'm most like I feel like Musetti and Novak, it's going to be a little bit more predictable as to what we see, like what Musetti has to do, what Novak has to do, how they go about it. Yeah, you know, Musetti likes that kick, but it goes into the strength, and he's got to mix up the serve a little bit. Curious to see how much Musetti goes to the chip versus Rip City on the backhand. Curious how Novak comes. I mean, we haven't seen Novak in like half of a week.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, he kind of got away with, you know, to his own, and this isn't me, so save your Novak fans, just save your commentary. Novak said, I got lucky. I should not have done that. So therefore, you can't get mad at me when I said Novak got lucky. He should not have done that. Fair?
Fair. I think that's fair. That's fair.
Okay. It seems like it should be fair. And if that's not fair to you, then that's a you issue, not a me issue. Yeah, I think Shelton Center. Still, I think Pegula, Anisimova. Anisimova if our stats are correct, and God knows, like, can we just get a simple stat sheet? Can we do that? Can we figure that out at some point, Mike, where it's not
just something that isn't just buried in
I'm sorry.
places?
Can we also, like, I'm looking at the, like, data is great. I'm a big fan of numbers and math, and that should dictate a lot of things. But, like, as I'm looking at matches, the prioritized data I don't factor in tweets about the person. I don't care about that. Right? Like, I don't care about what happened 7 months ago in a match. I don't value that the same as what happened in the last 2 weeks. I don't value that the same. I don't value the numbers against someone who's 90 in the world and apply those to the matchup against Carlos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't seem, so it's like the more data, like, I would want, like, really focused data, tomato.
What would be like if you were to make a data dashboard to show head-to-heads, what would be the 4 or 5 stats you would want to see?
You don't even need that many. First serve percentage. So if someone has the amount of times broken, if Sasha serves 75% versus if he goes down to 62% against Jannik and Carlos. Break points converted is a big one. Did he get 15 looks and only convert 2 and lose? That's deceiving, because that means he was actually doing a lot of good and just not getting it across the line. Or was he 2 for 2, won a match, but then literally wasn't in any other return games? Right? The drop shot usage rate with Carlos, and if that comes off of a forehand, right? It's tough to drop shot Zverev when he hits that backhand through because the ball's coming in lower and hotter, whereas when you have a little bit of loft, Carlos can play a little bit more. The spread on where they serve each other, right? Does Carlos try to get width so that he can move Zverev on the next ball, or does he want to go higher percentage? So yeah, just to start, but I would do there. You know, how much Twitter chatter there is about the person, I could give a shit about.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear. Like, I don't care. I just don't care what happened at a tournament in Halle last year, second round, against someone that's been out of this tournament for 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. So it's less about I know what I would look for, but it's less about what's completely irrelevant. Right. And I don't know what the data says outside of those things. What I would want to do is remove a lot of the data noise and actually see what the outcome is with that. The women's matches, I know we're supposed to sit here and say, like, I know I'm pretty confident. I'll tell you when I'm confident about something. I don't know.
Love that.
Pegula's 3-0 against Anisimova. Anisimova's not the same person she was, I'm guessing, when Jess won all those matches. You know, but obviously there's something, Jess being able to play against movement and accept pace, her shot tolerance with pace. She can switch directions. She can get people where they, you know, kind of are on, you know, feel like they're on skates a little bit. That's plus for Jess. But Jess also doesn't like playing the big hitters with her second serve. So Anisimova's going to be lining up, and there's not going to be a lot of nuance with what she's going to do with Jess's second serve. Now it's going to be the shot tolerance with if Jess can get kind of out of that quickly.
I mean, they haven't played each other since 2024.
It's not the same Anisimova.
Not the same. And it was 3 sets in both those. And then the other one was 2020. Was it 2 sets? And it's completely different.
I don't know. Different. I'll tell you this. Like, I chose Anisimova through. She's done nothing to discourage the faith that she's getting from dummies like us to get through in this tournament. Pegula's doing a lot. She's done a lot this tournament to inject herself into the conversation of us dummies. Right? So I don't know. Rybakina, Swiatek, I don't know. Nothing would surprise me. I could go 0 for 2 on this, very easily go for 2 for 2 on this, flip a coin, have some fun. Curious to see where Rybakina serves. Her first serve percentage is going to matter more than maybe anyone else's in this, because Iga returning second serves is very different than Iga returning first serves. Iga too, you know, her serve improved a lot Wimbledon last year, but this is like, we're getting to it. There's as much chalk, meaning favorite on favorite crime in this tournament as any slam that I remember in the, you know, recent memory. And everyone's playing well. Like, it's not as if someone, like, the person who's basically just survived until this point is Sinner, who would have been the least likely to just survive out of anyone in the tournament. right? Like we've gone into like the last slams and Novak, we're going, oh gosh, his body's breaking down. I don't know what we're going to see. There's really not that going on here at all. Like Zverev seems good. But also, by the way, and like we talk about a little bit, his process with having to check his insulin and inject himself on court.
Wild.
Crazy. I mean, we won't go crazy, but like my father-in-law is a type 1 diabetic. I see the maintenance that he has to be generally aware of on like a random Tuesday. Not like a 5-set match. Like it's Looney Tunes, and I don't know that you can overstate that. But it feels like everyone's pretty healthy. Everyone's pretty happy. Everyone's playing pretty well. Like we're setting ourselves up for a pretty great kind of final weekend here in Australia. I like Novak. I like Sinner. I don't know. We should be a lot.
Analysis.
We should. I mean, I can tell you what each person like has to do well, and I think we've
largely done a good job. I think
largely covered that, but like they're all playing well, and they're all like this. I don't know. It's pick 'em.
I can't wait.
I'm sure that's the analysis that you came here for. Thanks for watching Quick Serve, presented by ServiceNow. I don't know. Bye.
AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents.